Right. At Donors Choose, we want students and teachers to have the tools they need for a great education. And now, more than ever, they need your help. Here's what you can do. Go to DonorsChoose.org and choose from teachers' requests that support reading, math, science, history, and more. Once a request is funded, we'll take care of shipping everything directly to the teacher. It's that easy. You'll receive thank you letters and photos from students and teachers and a report of how every dollar was spent. Teachers' needs have never been greater. Learn more at DonorsChoose.org.
Donors Choose. Support a classroom.
Build a future.
You're never completely ready to adopt a teen.
For late nights writing English papers.
For your teen's music taste.
For dinners, where they talk more on their phone than with you.
For the first time, they call you mom.
You're never completely ready to adopt a teen, and you can't imagine the reward.
To learn more about adopting a teen, visit adoptuskids.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
With Wilde and Tausch, you won't miss a play.
Romeo. This 3-syllable, you have to take the O out of the equation. That's too easy.
Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Iota, right? Not one iota.
Iota. Yeah, that's only 4 letters.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
Let's pretend you're a first-time listener to Wilde and Tausch. What the hell is this? They're discussing syllables.
On 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube. Whether it's breaking Packers news, breaking Bucks news, or breaking Brewers news, we are Milwaukee's place for the biggest sports stories right when they happen. 94.5 ESPN.
California. Hey, they better call a paramedic in the street. I got leverage in the street. I'm a California and I'm heavy in the streets. 22 or 23, I'm heavy with the heat. Hit you with this top, paramedics can't save you. Really,
it's Sunday Karma with Craig Carmson on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Hey, that's just something I can relate to. Turn on the gang, that's just something that I can't do. Just something that I can't do. Rip bear beat, I get on, I was made to. Get the growling, something like a Black Panther. Tryna touch a milk, then get your bands up. With the gang, yeah, I had to man up. One fist in the air, I ain't finna put my hands up.
We're clear again, William.
Say that again, Craig. Kendrick was coming in too hot.
I said, is it all Kendrick all the time this morning with us?
It must be for Kyle Wallace. He's very excited about the halftime show. Rightfully so. I think it's going to be a fun one. Now,
I agree. I think we need to, though. I mean, do we just need to play his song with SZA, or do we need to play any like SZA on her own? I don't know exactly what we should be doing to respect SZA as well.
I think
this is not SZA's halftime show.
That's true. It is Kendrick's, but SZA is making an appearance.
Yeah,
now, will Taylor Swift make an appearance? Will she come down from her suite to perform Bad Blood with Kendrick? Well,
no, I don't think so.
One of Kendrick's biggest songs, at least according to Spotify and Apple Music, is the Bad Blood feature he did with Taylor Swift.
You know, I tried to tell people, Carrie Noni and Ben Jammin from Jammin' with Juice in the Morning, they joined Truth to Power Kyle Wallace. Yesterday, we were live from Steinhoffers in Oak Creek.
Yesterday was Saturday, so that would have been on Friday.
Today. Yes, Friday. And I tried to tell him, I said, listen, Kendrick Lamar is popping, but his song with Taylor Swift is probably one of the most famous songs. I said, stop it.
I mean, he has an incredibly deep discography, but
Taylor's on a whole nother level.
Taylor's on a whole nother level, and she's obviously going to be there. So, just a thought.
I mean,
Food for thought.
But if she comes down, then it's about her, and I don't think she wants to make the Super Bowl about her, whether it's taking away the spotlight from Trav or from Kendrick.
That's true. From Trav. Did you just call him Trav?
Yeah.
You guys are on a half-name basis?
No, but isn't that what she calls him, Trav?
To be honest with you, Craig, I have no idea what she calls him. I've never asked.
The Swifties, I mean, if you're on, when you see the Swifties comment about it, it seems like everyone calls it Trav.
Well, Jason Wilde, allegedly a Swiftie, I believe at least, and maybe he would have some insight on that.
Good morning, Jason.
I'm definitely a Swiftie. I am not close enough with Travis Kelce to call him Trav, but I agree with Craig's diagnosis that I don't think Taylor Swift wants to take the focus away from the featured artists that are doing the halftime show, but I know one Swiftie in my house besides me who's hopeful that she will make a cameo appearance.
I think it's interesting because my daughter would kill me if I said I was a Swiftie. So it's interesting that Jason can pull that off without the wrath of his teenage and new teenage or soon to be teenage on the second one daughters.
No, they're both one's 15 and one's going to be 14 next month, and I'm struggling to grapple with that reality that I am an old dad at this point. So no, they're both varying degrees of fans of Taylor Swift's work. I would say Sydney is the Swiftie, and Madison is more of a casual listener to her music.
Yeah. So Jason, a lot of talk about Myles Garrett out here in New Orleans. He made the rounds at the media center. He just joined SportsCenter, and I know a lot of discussion from our ESPN Wisconsin team about Myles Garrett as well. You know, we saw this with Lamar Jackson, that like just because you say you're going to get traded doesn't mean you get traded in the NFL. How realistic is it to think that Myles Garrett will get traded? And if so, are the Packers even a realistic destination for him?
Well, I want to make one thing clear for some fans who are looking at his contract and going, ooh, we get Myles Garrett and he's got $19 million as a base salary next year and $22 million. I want to be clear, that's not how that is going to work. So he is going to need a new contract, and he is going to get a new contract.
Is that like 4 years, 160 or so if you're trading for him?
So the number that I saw from Spotrac was 4 years, $137 million. That seemed conservative to me. So I'm guessing it'll be more than that. But yes, whatever it is, it's going to be a large number. And look, the Packers could do that if they want. But I thought Tausch made a really good point during the week, and that is, you know, there's basically a three-pronged issue here. One is, what are you giving up in trade compensation, right? And Goody actually addressed this idea, not about Myles Garrett specifically, but about trading for an established veteran player and using a premium pick or multiple premium picks to do it. One, you're losing the draft picks, the compensation that you're giving up, obviously. Second, you're losing having a controllable rookie contract that is not very expensive. And then third, you're paying that player, in this case, a very large number, and in this case, a very large new number, because you're not just taking over his previous contract. So,
Jason,
you know,
if we said Rashawn Gary, a 1 and a 2 for Myles Garrett, who's saying no to that?
Whew. Well, I think the Browns are still, because I think Andrew Berry, and again, our teammates at ESPN Cleveland would know this far better than me, but I don't think Andrew Berry's we're not trading him is positioning. I think it's honestly how he feels in talking with some other people that cover the league. Now, that said, eventually you get to a point where there's a number in terms of the trade compensation where not even Andrew Berry would say no, right?
What
That's a team that obviously...
What I just threw out there, Jason, like, is that a fair, like, from the Packers standpoint, with giving up Rashawn Gary so that the Browns could look at themselves and be like, hey, we're getting a guy back who's has the ability to be a game-changing pass rusher, plus we're getting a 1 and a 2. Like, is that somewhere in the vicinity, if they were willing to deal, of a deal that could make sense?
I think they would. I think they would prefer to avoid giving up 2 firsts, and that this would allow them to do that. Now, I think it's important to add that I don't think the Packers are as down on Rashawn Gary as Packers fans are.
Oh no, Jason, I'm saying that is showing that Rashawn Gary would have a lot of value, to bring back someone like that. I'm not indicating.
I agree.
At all,
Right. I agree, and the reason I bring it up is while you might say, okay, well maybe we can again, this is the fan mentality of, well, maybe we can trick the Browns into taking them off of our hands. Goody would look at this as, I'm giving up 2 first-round picks, right? Because one that's been a first-round pick and one that would be a first-round pick that would be made, and then a second-round pick as well. I believe that the Packers believe that Rashawn Gary in the second year of this new system will be significantly better. I'm not sure I agree, but I do think that that's what they think. I mean, I think Goody is convinced that it wasn't as bad up front as it looked because of the transition. But, because Rashawn Gary, let's be honest, Rashawn Gary came from Michigan where he had his hand in the dirt. And so this shouldn't have been as big of a transition as it turned out to be. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But no, look, if I'm the Packers and I think that acquiring Myles Garrett will be the 2025 version of acquiring Reggie White, minus the changing the perception of the organization piece of it, because that perception no longer exists because of Reggie and because of the winning they did thereafter. But from a purely player impact standpoint, if Goody thinks that Myles Garrett can be his Reggie White, then I think that's a more than fair price to pay and a price he's willing to pay. The question I have is, he just turned 29 on December 29th. Reggie White was 31 when the Packers acquired him. I would be curious just how Goody views a third contract to Myles Garrett, only because we know how his third contracts so far have largely worked out. And I think they've just solidified in his mind that it's better to go young than to pay a guy a third contract. And in a lot of cases, I think he's a lot less willing to pay second contracts too.
Kyle, you doing that deal if you're the Packers?
I'm doing anything to get Myles Garrett.
Well, the question I have for Jason is, we've seen Josh Jacobs and Jordan Love making the rounds down by Craig there in New Orleans. Do you think it's more likely if the Packers are to address a position via free agency or trade, is it defensive end or is it wide receiver?
Ooh, that's a good question, Strofe. Look, I don't know about this Davante Adams. I don't want to call it nonsense because I don't think it's nonsense.
It's not nonsense, but it's a little much, no?
Well, and especially I never would have thought that Davante would be fanning the flames,
yes.
As much as he has. So that makes me wonder what to think about that. Because look, if we're being honest, I don't think maybe the Jets will still bring back Aaron Rodgers. I can't say for certain that they won't, but if they're not, then Davante is going to be cast adrift as well. And because he's certainly not playing for $35 million. And one of the things that he's clearly going to be looking for is a place where he can land and continue to improve his standing as a potential Pro Football Hall of Famer, right? He needs to go somewhere where he can have a few more years that burnish that Hall of Fame resume. And he clearly has changed his view of Jordan Love from what he felt previously. So I think he seriously wants to come back. I've exchanged a few text messages with him. He has not explicitly said that. I don't know if he's just kind of enjoying playing the game, both via iMessage and via the Kay Adams podcast. But the bottom line is that he has to find a home, and I don't think it's going to be in New York if Rodgers is gone. So I think it's more likely that they would address it via a trade at wide receiver or a signing at wide receiver. I believe Goody believes that he's got, that Lucas Van Ness is going to get better.
Yep.
And that Kingsley Enagbare is a good player, and that he can draft a guy at 23 who can come in and have an impact. Now, again, we'll see if he's right, but that would be my gut feeling on where Goody thinks. Because remember, it's not just about, let's add a number one because Josh Jacobs said so. Let's not. We don't need a veteran because our team needs somebody to mentor these young guys. They're not going to have Christian Watson for the first half of the season, and there has to be at least some measure of question mark about what Romeo Dobbs' availability is long term with the concussion issues he's had lately. So to me, that makes wide receiver a lot more logical.
Jason, you just dropped so many different nuggets there.
Just breaking news that we will share with everyone that Giannis Antetokounmpo with his mild calf strain is going to be out for the NBA All-Star game a week from today. That comes from ESPN's Shams Charania. So there is, people have wondered the last few nights where Giannis has not played, what was going on. And with that mild calf strain, he will be also out for the All-Star game next week.
That's okay. I mean, I'd rather him be healthy in March, April, May, and June. Than
I just hope it's not the same
game.
issue he ended up having last year.
Yeah. All right, back to y'all.
Jason, I do want to know this, though, because I do think it's interesting that not only did Josh Jacobs make comments about what the team needed to add, but also a little bit of Jordan Love talking about, he would be open to additions. I mean, if those two players are saying that, don't you think Goody's kind of noticed that as well? Because obviously there's glaring holes on this team where they can just get reinforcements. You don't think any of that will have any influence? I know Rodgers had no influence, but you don't think with the window and the 3 to 5 year plan that he has that there won't be any influence to try to get something?
Are you crazy? You're saying that a running back that he views as a commodity says, or that Jordan Love says, oh yeah, I'd be open to stuff. I mean, Jason, he doesn't care about that stuff.
I wasn't going to be quite as harsh in my dismissiveness, Kyle, but Craig is right. I don't think he cares. I really don't. And what I do think he cares about is, he claims he doesn't see windows. At the same time, obviously in the conversation and the story that Rob Domofsky wrote for ESPN.com and ESPNWisconsin.com, you just referenced it, these 3 to 5 year plans that he has. I mean, if that's your mentality, then you're calling them plans instead of windows, but you kind of still view it the same way, right? And so I don't think he's influenced by that. I don't think he wants to add older players. And, I don't think Myles Garrett fits the suit either. The guys that fit the suit, and I said this to Strofe on Weekly Wildy, I think I know the league okay. I certainly don't pay as close of attention to it as I pay to the Packers specifically. But I didn't know who the hell Zadarius Smith was when the Packers signed him. I knew he played for Baltimore. That was it. And when you look at what he did, 13.5 sacks in his first year with the Packers, 12.5 in his second year, and then he obviously had his issues and his unwillingness to play when he didn't have any more guaranteed money left. But 26 sacks in his first 2 seasons, and that was a guy that I wasn't familiar with his game, right? And probably neither were you. To me, that's the kind of guy that's Goody's going to sign. The non-first-round pick who has come to the end of his rookie 4-year deal and is going to get paid, but not an astronomical amount.
Well, Jason, I guess my issue is this, is that the last time the Packers have won a Super Bowl, right, and I understand this only comes around once in a while, but we're talking about now we're in the once in a while time, right, is you just talked about it. They signed Reggie White, who was going to go on to be a what?
Hall of Fame. No.
You got to let me finish. They signed Reggie White, and what ended up happening, some seasons after that? They won a Super Bowl. And then they signed Charles Woodson, and what, a future Hall of Famer as well. What happened? They ended up winning a Super Bowl. Now you have an opportunity to potentially, and I'm not talking about Tay, I'm talking about with Myles Garrett. I know they're going to have a lot of competition, but Myles Garrett could be in the same vein, in the same breath of Reggie White, Charles Woodson, and then Myles Garrett that could eventually take you to a Super Bowl. Zadarius Smith did a fantastic job for the Packers, but you know what we got with Zadarius Smith? 0 Super Bowl rings. And so that's where my issue comes, is eventually you have to look at history to say, let's take this leap of faith where we know we're going to get a potentially talented player that could potentially be a Hall of Famer, that can be a game changer for your football team. And so that's where my frustration comes, is that you got to use the past to at least try to educate you for the future, is that you got to make the major move to win a Super Bowl. It's not about winning regular season games or NFC North titles. It's about winning Super Bowls, man. And I'm just frustrated about the fact that We may not do that with Goody because he's not going to take the swing at the fence that he needs to get a big-time player.
Kyle, they went to the NFC Championship game each of the first 2 years.
That's not a Super Bowl, though. That's not a Super Bowl. But
you're in position to go to the Super Bowl.
But you
right?
know, but we won a Super Bowl with a guy named Charles Woodson, who I know he got hurt in the Super Bowl, but he got there. Reggie White.
That doesn't guarantee, because it happened in the past, that it happens again. There's multiple ways to get to Super Bowls.
Well, we've only
Right, but Kyle, I mean, Jason, how many big free agents can you mention around the league every year get signed? And those teams don't go to the Super Bowl. I
understand that, but I'm just saying, if Myles Garrett was on this football team, I feel like this defense that becomes that much better. It becomes so much more better.
Myles Garrett I mean, Jason, Andrew Berry, as you said, isn't even at this point putting Myles Garrett on the table as a potential, right? I mean, if he was, you're saying you think the Packers at this age would consider him or wouldn't?
I think they would have a conversation, and then they would decide that all those three things that I just outlined that it would require to get him, giving up draft capital, giving up an easily controlled, inexpensive rookie deal, and then paying him an astronomical amount. I don't think they're going to want to do that. I don't. Now, look, let's look at it from the other perspective, Kyle. I think you might have to admit that, and again, I don't know enough about the Eagles' ins and outs. They're obviously a really, really good football team. But there's a chance that without Zach Bond, they're not in the Super Bowl today, right? There's a chance. I'm not saying for certain. But my point is that Zach Bond, they got for like a 1 year, $3.5 million deal. Like, if you make good decisions with who you sign, they don't all have to be blockbuster, big number signings. They can be guys that are nothing close to that and allow you to be a Super Bowl contender or a Super Bowl team. But again, I'm just saying, just because you can rattle off, and let's be honest about Charles Woodson, by the way, too. Charles Woodson, the Packers were the only team that wanted him to still play corner.
But he was a great.
Like,
he was
the
still,
only other,
right?
But no one saw him that way, Kyle. Kyle, in 1993, everyone wanted Reggie White. He went on a free agency tour. He went to all these different places, and then God told him to take the most money, and that was from the Packers. So Charles Woodson was available to every team, and the Packers were the only ones, and he didn't even want to be here. Like, he was a malcontent in 2006. So I don't think I think that's a false equivalency. You need someone to be as good as those guys on defense to get you to a Super Bowl. If you want to argue that, I think you can, okay? But you don't have to necessarily pay top dollar on the free agent market or trade for a guy to be that. You just need somebody to be at that level.
I hear you, Jason. I hear you. We can go back and forth, but
do you though?
No, I do. I do. We can go back and forth, but
are you listening? You hear him, but are you listening?
I'm listening. We can go back and forth. He makes a lot of great points. I just, you know.
Are you retaining the information?
I was so happy when Jason came on, was talking about how he's been texting a little bit with Tay, and Tay actually does have a mutual interest.
Speaking of texting, Jason, have you been texting with your guy Rodgers at all? Because Jordan Schultz of Fox Sports reporting that the Jets likely to move on from Aaron Rodgers. Have you talked to him at all about what he's going to do?
I have not. The last time I texted with him, it was a fairly long back and forth about the fires in California, and while his house at the time, I have not circled back, had.
We're just going to make this a long break, so this is it with Jason.
Winds. It had been spared from the fires. So I have not texted with him. He did evacuate, I can tell you that. He went to Arizona to evacuate. But I had not reached out about football. He was asking about the girls and some other stuff. But I should circle back because it does influence the Davante Adams angle. And look, I think it's important for me to be full disclosure here. I am rooting for the Davante Adams reunion as hard as anyone this side of Kay and Davante Adams. Like he's one of my guys. I think the world of him, obviously, and I think that he would be perfect for a team that could be missing some wide receiver pieces, and is not like T. Higgins, who you sign and pay huge top dollar for, or trade if he gets franchise tagged, and then he is clearly your number one. Man, he's on your team for 2 years. He is still a transitional guy until, say, Jaden Reed is ready to be a number one. So I think it's the perfect fit. I don't think it's going to cost the kind of money that other wide receivers will cost. I think it would be a really smart thing for them to do, but I'm also very biased.
All right. Well, we have our mystery guest coming up, our new 7 and 11. I actually think Jason would be quite helpful with it. Oh my God! You is anyone following what's going on in the FA Cup fourth round between Liverpool? And
here we go again. Here we go again.
Craig, we are not. Remember, we're in America. We play American football, not that football Americano.
Wait. Plymouth Argyle is basically
Craig. I don't even know who that is.
Right, they're basically in last place in the second division.
All due respect, I couldn't give less of a damn.
No, but picture the last place team in AAA. Playing the Los Angeles Dodgers, who is Liverpool, who is the first place team in the major leagues. And they are playing at the last place AAA team. And there's less than 1 minute left in the game. And now it's over in one of the biggest upsets in the history of football.
Wow. Jason, how do you feel about this?
Yeah, I bet Jason loves that.
For you to be here for this, Plymouth Argyle has just defeated Liverpool 1-0 to advance to the 5th round of the FA Cup. Jason, your live reaction as you're hearing this for the first time.
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Good choice.
When I think of Argyle, I think of the chauffeur in Die Hard.
Yeah.
That's what I think of when I think of Argyle.
Nice.
Does that help you? Is that what you were looking for?
No. This is a big deal in world sport, and it is. I would argue today, regardless of what happens here in New Orleans, the biggest story in football today will be Plymouth Argyle.
Okay, he's delusional. He's literally delusional.
All right, Craig.
Can you guys let me go now?
Yeah,
can I go?
Go ahead, hit him with the line, Jason.
Take care. Be good.
All right, our mystery guest coming up next, Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
Ben Brust here because you need to win the ultimate Valentine's Day prize courtesy of Welke's Milwaukee Florist. To register, go to welkesdatenight.com for your chance to win a bouquet of flowers courtesy of Welke's Milwaukee Florist. On top of that, spend a beautiful night in the city watching Milwaukee basketball take on Miami on February 23rd. Register to win a wonderful Valentine's Day prize courtesy of Welke's Milwaukee Florist. That's welkesdatenight.com. Register now through February 12th.
Hey, I got you something.
What's this?
Just a little Galentine's gift from JTV.
Do you mean jewelry television? I love their jewelry. They have the
New customers get $25 off their first purchase of $75 or more. Visit jtv.com/romance.
Yeah, their artisan collections. Gorgeous.
Are you going to open your gift?
Oh, yeah. It's the pearl bracelet.
New customers receive $25 off their first purchase of $75 or more. Visit jtv.com/romance.
Get in zone, AutoZone. Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My check engine light's on?
That could hurt your gas mileage. The AutoZone free Fix Finder service can help find the fix for free.
Get in zone. This whole report for free?
That's right, printed and on your phone for free.
Get in zone. But what if the fix is too tough?
We'll recommend a local shop. Fix Finder, only at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
That weird Wisconsin weather is here. Snow one day, sun the next. But you can always count on Tsunami Express to keep your car clean. With 6 locations across southeastern Milwaukee, Tsunami Express helps fight that salt, grime, and mud with powerful vacuums and state-of-the-art wash technology. Technology like their best-in-class T2 with graphene for a long-lasting shine and protection. Stop at any Tsunami Express location and get your first wash free when you sign up online at tsunamiexpress.com. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat. Terms and conditions apply. First wash free for new members only.
Wisconsin is still cattle country. And that's why Bunzel's chose to stay close to home to hand select the finest beef. Quality goes into everything they do, from Bunzel's expansive array of meats, homemade specialty sausages, and their award-winning beef jerky. It just isn't a proper holiday meal without Bunzel's top-quality cuts on the dinner table. Tasting is believing. Visit Bunzel's at 90th and Burleigh or bunzels.com.
Experience the timeless charm of the Knickerbocker on the Lake, Milwaukee's premier boutique hotel. With its stunning architecture and modern comforts, every detail tells a story. Whether it's a romantic getaway, a business trip, or simply a night away, you'll find elegance, history, and a warm welcome waiting for you. The Knickerbocker on the Lake, where every moment feels like a chapter from the past, written just for you. Visit knickerbockerontheLake.com to book your stay today. An unforgettable getaway awaits.
It's party time at Cousins Subs. For a limited time only, Cousins is bringing back their famous 2-foot party subs. Whether it's for a big game, family gathering, or work celebration, Cousins 2-foot party sub is sure to be a crowd pleaser. Choose from the club, ham and provolone, Italian special, or turkey. Each party sub is just $39.99, feeds 5 to 8 people, and requires 24-hour notice to order. Order today through February 9th in store, online, or on their app. Cousins Subs. We believe in better.
Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center is hosting another Scramble tournament with $1,000 in cash prizes available. Hey, ESPN Milwaukee, this is Gary Ellerson, and Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center invites you to play in a 2-man scramble at TPC Scottsdale, all from their comfortable golf simulators. Grab a friend and sign up today at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com. The tournament costs $120 per pairing and is happening now through February 28th. Your winter chance to play TPC Scottsdale awaits. WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com.
American Family Insurance is a lot like Captain America. He protects the world.
It's just doing my job.
And we help protect your dreams with amazing auto and home coverage. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. And see Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World.
Suit up. We need to move.
In theaters February 14th. This film is not yet rated.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer lets you easily compare direct rates from different insurance companies, so you can be confident you're getting the right one, even if it's not with Progressive. Way more confident than you were when you bought that TV in the parking lot. It just happened to not come in a box or include a remote. And when you finally managed to turn it on, all it displayed was the menu of Grumpy's Tacos. So use Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer and be confident you're getting insurance that's right for you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
With Target, checking off your Valentine's Day list has never been easier. First, surprise your favorite people with something extra thoughtful, like a soothing candle and a memorable scent, or a decorative picture frame to show off every moment. Both buy one, get one 50% off with Target Circle. And don't forget to treat yourself. Find the sweetest style for your special occasion with 20% off women's dresses now through Friday. This week, find Valentine's gifts for everyone you love, only at Target.
Football season. Best time of the year and my favorite time of the year. This is ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman. On game days, my favorite teammate is a cold carbless in my hand. Premium cocktails in a can made right here in the great state of Wisconsin. Maybe it's when I'm at the tailgate ahead of kickoff or getting ready at home for the game. Carbless is there. 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and gluten-free. Carbless features classic cocktails like margarita, Paloma, and even Moscow Mule, and vodka cocktail flavors like cranberry, lemon, and peach. Find it on your next grocery trip. Carbless. Less is more.
Hey, this is Jen Latta. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
'Cause baby, now we got bad blood. You know it used to be mad love. So take a look what you've done. 'Cause baby, now we got bad blood.
Hey, I can't take it back. Look where I'm at. We was OG like DOC, remember that?
Whenever you're ready.
All right, it is time to chat with our mystery guest. Remember, our new 7 at 11, Kyle and Strophy today, no Scalzo, have to try to identify this mystery guest by asking only yes or no questions, and they must do it with less than 6 or less than 7 no's, right? So only yes or no questions, trying to identify our mystery guest here on Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin. Kyle, are you ready?
Okay, Craig. Now, when I answered the phone, I feel like he had a caller ID, so I felt like I saw who it was.
Oh, I just looked.
Why'd you look?
How could I not look?
Why'd you look?
Wait, you really both looked?
No, I went to answer the phone.
But I told you last week that you got to be careful on caller ID.
I was trying to be careful, and my eyes glanced. I didn't see enough of it, but I know I saw enough of it. And then Strofe looked after. So why did you?
It was hard not to.
What you mean? It's hard not to, Strofe.
Wait, at least you're both honest and you're not cheating.
Well, why did Strofe look though? I just literally said I just saw a name when I answered.
Well, I saw the last name, which makes me think I know who it is, but I don't know that for a fact.
Okay.
Well, no, come on. You can't. I mean,
I only know one person with this last name.
What made you think that we weren't going to get this one?
Wait. You only know one. You only know one person with the name.
Well, I mean, I don't think we're talking to the receiver on the Seahawks.
Right. That's what I'm saying. There's other people at the
But
name.
I mean, I love who I think our mystery guest is, and I have a million college basketball questions in this brain of mine. So if it's the person I think it is.
Why did you look after I said that I accidentally saw? I didn't even see the full. I just saw the first 3 letters. I'm like, crap.
College basketball.
Well, I could be wrong.
Yeah,
like I just said.
Be wrong too. I mean,
okay, all right. Then let's bring in our mystery guest. All right, you guys can start asking questions.
Well, my first question would be: Are you a member of the media?
Yes.
All right. Are you Myron Metcalf?
No.
Oh.
Well, then now, okay, good. Because like I said, that's what I saw with the first 3 letters. I'm like, oh, crap. Well, this makes things fun. All right, cool. So they are a member of the media.
So you have 1 no. Okay, so we have 1 no.
See, Craig, look at honesty. We're being honest. I didn't want to ruin
this
it.
is good. That's who you thought it was as well, right?
Because
when you saw the last name?
I just saw M-E-T, and I'm like, oh, crap.
Okay, and the reason you would think that is because Myron Metcalf does the radio show right at this same time on ESPN Radio. I don't know how he would think he'd be able to call into our show while doing his own show at the same time.
Oh, that's a good point, Craig. Good point.
Yeah, 10 to 12, huh?
All right,
Kyle, go ahead.
Questions here.
All right.
Okay, member of the media.
Member of the media. You have resided in the state of Wisconsin at some point in your life.
Yes.
All right, yes. So that doesn't count against us. Member of media, resided in the state of Wisconsin. Okay. You are affiliated with a Wisconsin.
Kyle, these are supposed to be questions.
Yeah, you're phrasing these in sentences.
Are you affiliated? Are you currently affiliated with any sports team in the state of Wisconsin? So whether
no.
Okay. No, not affiliated.
Yeah, that's 2 no's.
Did you attend college in the state of Wisconsin?
No.
3 no's.
All right, we're up to 3. You guys are struggling.
Do you currently have you worked in broadcast television or radio?
Yes.
Okay.
They worked in broadcast television and radio.
Ask if they currently do that.
Do you currently work in broadcast television or radio?
Yes.
Okay.
You guys are struggling.
Do you
have no idea.
Do you currently work in broadcast television for the NFL?
Okay, wait. Do you mean for does his paycheck come from the NFL,
does he do anything related? So would he be a play-by-play host for like the Packers or anything?
Anything for NFL football? Okay, so
football.
Is your expertise NFL football?
Yes.
Are you currently in New Orleans?
Oh, good question.
Yes.
Are you a member? Are you affiliated with Good Karma Brands in any way?
Yes.
Oh, okay. This is good, Kyle. You're doing really good. I still have no idea, though.
I'm trying to work my way.
You'll have no idea. You guys are nowhere on this.
We are nowhere. They're affiliated with Good Karma Brands. They work. Trophy, should we do like play-by? Should we ask for play-by-play, or could they work?
Well,
no,
because if they're affiliated with Good Karma Brands, my thought then goes to our individual markets.
Yeah, are they a former player? Right? Should we say that?
Yeah, ask that.
Are you a former NFL player?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We've made.
There we go, baby.
Question asked so
We
far.
cooking.
That
We
was-
cooking. Okay.
that
The
was
problem
best
is,
question asked so far.
Do you think? Oh man.
do they do a daily show?
Yeah, I would go that route because I have a few thoughts.
Do you do a daily radio or TV show at all?
No.
All right, so it's not anybody daily. It's
Okay.
somebody who they must do hits or something like that. But they are former NFL. Well, we're talking to a former NFL player.
You asked affiliation in terms of Good Karma Brands.
And they said
should we
yes.
just blatantly ask if you receive a paycheck from Good Karma Brands?
Yeah.
We should ask that, right?
I mean, but remember, you didn't even ask about you don't know what team they play.
Oh, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Mama, it's 30 teams. We got 7 questions.
Well, there's 32 teams actually.
32
Kyle.
teams. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
The Carolina Panthers and Houston Texans do exist, just so you're aware. Let's go. Ooh. No, I'm going to go the player route, actually. Are you a Super Bowl champion?
No.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, either are you, Trophy.
I'm also not. Despite the fact I was in 6th grade when the Packers last won a Super Bowl,
So what I'm trying to-
I am not one.
So they're
either.
affiliated with Good Karma Brands. They
Are we
haven't
up
won
to
a Super
5
Bowl.
no's, by the way?
We are
We're
5
5
no's. That's correct.
So they're
yes.
affiliated with Good Karma Brands. They haven't won a Super Bowl championship. They work in radio, right? Or no? He said no to that.
Yes,
Daily show? They don't do-
works in
they don't do a
does
daily
not
show,
do a
though.
Daily show, has lived in the state of Wisconsin.
Has lived in the state of Wisconsin. And okay, so they lived. Did you ever play for the Green Bay Packers?
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
Didn't win the Super Bowl. They played for the Green Bay Packers.
Okay.
Okay, play for the Packers. Did you play on the defense side of the ball?
No.
So it's an offensive
Okay.
player.
Were you a wide receiver?
No, come on now.
Why are you thinking about it?
Yes and no.
Okay, were you a running
No.
back? Were you primarily a running back?
Yes.
Did you only play for the Packers for one season?
Yes.
Are you Eric Metcalf?
Yes.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Come on!
You guys lost. You guys lost. No, you said wide receiver. That was your 7th no.
No, what do you mean?
But Eric played a little bit of wide receiver. He was
Yeah.
primarily a running back, but he played wide receiver as well.
And then on top of that, he let him answer the question. He answered the question of yes. So that counts. Shout out to Stroh. Shout out to me. We handled this. We did it well.
Wow, I got nervous there. Eric, how are you, my friend? Everything good?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Fantastic.
Now, Eric, you were
I
a
thought you guys
1,000-yard
knew. I thought you guys knew. Right.
Eric, you were
I
a
was a
1,000-yard
1,000-yard receiver
receiver
at the-
in your career, but you're a running back. Come on now. You're not a wide receiver. Your son's a wide receiver.
But once I got traded from the Browns and went to the Falcons, I was strictly a run. Well, I played a few running back plays, but I was receiver the entire time.
And if you
And
go
that's
to
when I was top.
and wait a minute, and if you go to Eric's Pro Football Focus page, it also has him listed as a running back dash wide receiver, Craig. So we won.
Yep. All right. I just want them to lose. And
He had
they pulled it
104.
out.
He had 104 receptions in 1995. 104.
Yeah. Yep. Sure did.
Yep.
I thought you guys had it. I thought you guys had it when you said it wasn't a receiver in Seattle.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought you knew immediately.
You guys had the name Metcalf, and it took you 20 minutes. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Well, I mean, it's kind of hard when you only get yes or no questions, right? If he was able to go ahead and elaborate on some of our questions, we would have gotten there faster.
So, Eric and Eric Metcalf, one of the all-time greats in return guy, versatile player, one of my favorite NFL players of all time, and a great, great guy. We haven't gotten to talk about this season, and I want to get your take quickly on the running back position because it kind of was shaped, the narrative of the whole season by Saquon and Derrick Henry changing teams and having the impacts they had. Like, Eric, after all these years, do you think this is going to change how NFL teams start to value the running back position?
It's hard to say. I think the teams that use Derrick and Saquon in Philly and Baltimore, I think because of their playing style, the offense that they run, they were able to highlight those guys and make the running back position look good again. However, with this new style of offense and all these offensive-minded coaches to spread it out and throw the ball all over the field, it'll be guys like that, I think, that really don't feel like you need to run the ball as much. But as we've seen in these past weeks and through the course of the last few years, the team that normally wins ends up running the ball. We watch Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, and everybody thinks, oh, they throw the ball all over the yard. Nope. When they get to the playoffs and Super Bowl in the past years, they started running the ball because everybody knows that you have to run the ball in order to win these type of games because you have to be able to sustain drives. And so I think teams will look at the running back differently, but I think it's about whether they're able to put a line together that can get somebody like that to look good.
Now, Eric, let's talk about Strophe mentioned it. You had a year in Green Bay. What are the memories of your Green Bay Packers career?
Well, I actually had 2 games. And so I was sitting at home. Minding my own business thinking I was never going to play football again. And then they called me right before the last game of the regular season, asked me if I wanted to play. And I looked at their record, and they had only only lost like 2 games. I said, I can go to the Super Bowl. And so I decided to go out there and play. And so my one memory is it was the first playoff game that the Packers had lost at Lambeau against Michael Vick. But one of the plays that was a deciding play was I was back there returning the punt, and the ball hit the defender, and they said it hit me. And I told the coach, it did not hit me. Challenge it. And they never did. But it never hit me. Oh, wow. and so they got the ball and went and scored, and that changed the outcome of the game.
And Strophe, you remember, that was a memorable game because the Packers were seen as invincible at home before that game. Michael Vick ends up running
memorable and not a good way, but memorable.
That was a key play. That was a key play in that game. You're thinking, right. So you're saying the coach. I didn't realize
Mike Sherman at the time, right?
Mike Sherman, yeah, that was
Mike
Sherman.
Yes.
So wait, that play didn't get challenged? I didn't realize that, Eric.
No, it didn't get challenged, and I told them to challenge that play because, man, I'm 35 years old. What am I going to be lying about? I know I can. I know it's going to be on film. I know what happened. It did not hit me.
But sometimes players. Come on, we've all watched NBA games where they're spinning their finger, Eric. You have too. And you're like, they're telling their coach to challenge, and you're like, come on now. You know he committed that foul.
Interesting.
How is he trying to tell his coach to challenge? So you've seen the film and you've watched it back and you're sure you didn't touch it?
I'm 100% positive. I'm 100% positive.
Man, that game was so bad. I don't know about for you, but for me, you were only on the Packers for a couple weeks, right? For when you signed to that season.
Yes.
Listen, I never forget. I was downtown. My uncle was from Atlanta. He was up visiting, right? So he was a big fan of Michael Vick. And we went out to a restaurant in downtown Milwaukee. And I'm thinking, here we go. It's cold outside. It's Lambeau.
I bet he was annoying as hell because they went up early in that game.
Michael Vick ran all over the Packers, and the mystique of Lambeau Field vanished at that very moment. I will never, ever forget that game. It was shocking. Absolutely shocking.
Yes, it was. And it's funny because after that game, William Henderson brought all the running backs together, and we were talking, and he was talking about the seasoning guys, and I'm just sitting there because I've only been there 2 weeks, right? And so I didn't say it and wasn't saying anything. And then he was like, Mitch, you want to say something? And I said, yeah, I'll say something. I said, look here, you guys are young, and you took for granted the fact that you're playing at Lambeau, so you just automatically assume you're not going to lose this game. So that means you're not working on your craft. You're not preparing like you need to prepare in order to go out there and play football against other pros. You just take it for granted. I said, now, if you guys were as good as you think you are, they wouldn't have brought a 35-year-old man in here who was sitting on his couch 2 weeks ago. I said, those are things you got to think about. Work on your craft. Make sure you're doing everything you can do to be the best player you can be. And that's how you're successful.
Wow. That was the first Packers home playoff loss since the NFL started in 1933. And Eric Metcalf was there to deliver that message to the rest of the team afterwards. Eric, you are successfully a mystery guest now on Sunday Karma. It was good seeing you last night and hang with your son. And thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thanks, Eric.
All right. There he is, the great Eric Metcalf, Green Bay Packer legend.
Great return guy. Great return guy.
See, I told him I didn't know if you guys were too young. If if you guys could remember Eric Metcalf.
Well, luckily, I'm a dork. I was 3 years old when he played for the Packers.
I wouldn't have remembered a guy that played for the Packers for a couple snaps.
Luckily, I knew that he played. Right, it was literally 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I think.
Yeah, I wouldn't have remembered.
But he's one of the all-time great returners, right? Like it's Devin Hester, it's Eric Metcalf.
Dude, he's a three-time Pro Bowler, but as you said, he was so good that literally he was a receiver for a minute and caught 100 balls in a season.
Which is bonkers.
So fun to watch. Such a great player.
How did you meet him, Craig?
Who's his son?
His son played wide receiver for. He was at Arizona State a few years. He's bounced around a little bit. He's trying to catch on with the CFL right now.
Gotcha. Very cool.
So how do you know Eric Metcalf?
Yeah, what's the connection?
He's like a Cleveland Browns legend, man. And so he's done a lot of work with us at ESPN Cleveland.
Cool.
And literally from the first time when I saw him, I was like, dude, he was, as a kid, he was like one of my favorite players because he was little and he just in the return game, he was just such a smart player and guy never got caught from behind. He was great.
Okay, so I guess my follow-up question now, Craig, is, do you think it's a little humiliating when we don't know who the person is? Like, we figured out Eric, but initially I thought he was Myron Metcalf.
Yeah, and the fact that you guys think Myron Metcalf is more famous than Eric Metcalf is kind of funny.
I don't think he's more famous overall. But
Myron's from Milwaukee, so I'm all about 4-on-4 boys.
I'm a big Myron fan. I'm a big college basketball fan, so I certainly have spent much more time watching Myron Metcalf on television than I did Eric.
And Myron's probably more relevant locally just because of the name.
Oh, without a doubt. No offense to Eric, but he is.
Dude, I mean, Eric Metcalf was involved in one of the most historic plays in Packers history, as we just learned.
I don't know if it's one of the most historic plays in Packers history.
I'm not hearing people talk about the fumble.
It was the first time they
even if we think about if we think about bad moments in franchise history, it's not top 5. Right? Think about the onside kick in Seattle. Think about the Fail Mary in Seattle.
He was part of the game.
4th and 26. I mean, we've got so many more options.
That game, Kyle's right. Since 1933, the Packers had never lost a home playoff game.
Wow.
And that was the first time.
Now they do it regularly, seemingly.
Sure do.
So.
I remember when they had this mystique of not losing when it was under a certain temperature.
Anymore.
It's gone. It's gone. That was when it died.
Right? If they had beat Michael Vick that day, if Mike Sherman had challenged that fumble, the Packers wouldn't have lost to Tom Brady in the NFC Championship. They wouldn't have lost to Eli Manning in the 15-1 season. They wouldn't have lost to the Giants when Brett Favre was still there.
Yeah, thanks, Craig. I appreciate this. Thank you.
They never would have lost the home playoff game had Mike Sherman challenged that.
I love going down memory lane of losses. Thank you, Craig.
All right. We said we'll talk about Chris Middleton. We will talk about Chris Middleton as we continue. It's Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
You're listening to Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Ben Brust here because you need to win the ultimate Valentine's Day prize courtesy of Welke's Milwaukee Florist. To register, go to welkesdatenight.com for your chance to win a bouquet of flowers courtesy of Welke's Milwaukee Florist. On top of that, spend a beautiful night in the city watching Milwaukee basketball take on Miami on February 23rd. Register to win a wonderful Valentine's Day prize courtesy of Welke's Milwaukee Florist. That's welkesdatenight.com. Register now through February 12th.
It's the perfect Valentine's heart.
The kind a schoolboy would draw. It's the most adorable pendant we've ever created.
Innocent, fun-loving, and sweeter than honey.
Cute, cute, cute.
It's cherry red ceramic that's been through the fire.
We've been making ceramic jewelry for thousands of years.
Seriously?
Google it.
But this ceramic heart has things they didn't know about thousands of years ago.
Like what?
Diamonds. 18 of them.
These created diamonds were made for the one who sparkles like the sun.
I can see her in my mind right now.
It's the perfect Valentine's gift.
And it's only $128 at Kessler's.
Monica, what else do we have?
We have 4 different ways to say I love you.
Each pendant is a different shape covered in diamonds.
Life is like a box of chocolates.
An oval.
A square with rounded corners.
A teardrop.
And a heart.
Your choice, just $148 at Kessler's. For the location of the Kessler's nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
Casey and Philly are ready to kick off. The question is, are you ready? HD TVs in every room. Check. The grill ready to fire up. Check. Chips, dips, check. Now the real planning begins. A trip to Discount Liquor to stock up for the biggest football game of the year. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. Is beer on the menu? We'll set you up with your favorite or recommend something new. We have over 2,000 to choose from. What about liquor? Our variety is unmatched, as is our selection of wine. So if you want it, we've got it. Discount Liquor is your personal party headquarters. Discount Liquor has everything you need, all at the lowest prices in town. Come see us today at 51st in Oklahoma and Milwaukee, and on Barstow and Main in downtown Waukesha. Open daily 9 to 9 and Sundays 10 to 2. Online at discountliquorinc.com.
Discount Liquor.
Whether you're about to graduate high school or have been in the workforce for years, it's time to take control of your future. Welcome to Lakeland University, where you call the shots. We use our flexible learning formats to customize your degree path. In person, online, and virtual classes are all available. Lakeland University is designed around you, your goals, your schedule, your future. You can even earn up to 25% of your degree via paid work experiences. Ready to take control of your future? Let us customize an education to fit your needs. Visit lakeland.edu/ESPN to learn more.
Get ready, Oak Creek. Tsunami Express is making a splash with a brand new location at 6900 South 27th Street. Join the grand opening celebration February 12th through the 23rd. Enjoy free washes and snag an unbeatable deal. Just $5 for your first month of unlimited washes. Plus, 100% of the grand opening proceeds go to Special Spaces Wisconsin, creating dream bedrooms for kids battling cancer. Make a difference while getting your car sparkling clean at Tsunami Express in Oak Creek. See you there. Offer valid for new members only. Terms and conditions apply.
Start the day with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
You can't get to the Super Bowl in early October, but they are not playing like a team that has those types of aspirations right now.
Right here on 94.5 ESPN and also streaming live on the Wisconsin On Demand app and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Nobody pray for me. It been that day for me. Yeah. Hey, I remember syrup sandwiches and crime allowances for finessing on.
It's Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
You're clear.
Oh, a little more Kendrick. See, this is some Kendrick I know.
Yeah, about what? How old is this song? Maybe 10, 15 years old? Humble?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Humble?
No,
At least a decade.
I remember my daughter danced to this like 9 years ago. I bet. It was new about 8-9 years ago.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I bet like 2015 this album came out.
Okay, that's 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Which album is this?
Damn.
The album's
Oh, and Good City Mad Kid was the romantic Good Kid. Yeah.
Good Kid, Mad City.
2017.
Damn was 2017?
2017, yeah.
Okay.
7-8 years ago. There you
Good
go.
Kid, Mad City was probably 2013,
Yeah.
2012.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. That was the first one.
Yeah. I'm fired
Good
up about
guy.
the halftime show.
Good guy, Mid-City, Chris Middleton. I don't know. Did that work? No.
No,
Didn't.
no, it was worth an attempt, but it was bad.
The constant on the Milwaukee Bucks, and as much a part of the fabric of who the Bucks have been for the last decade plus, has been Chris Middleton. Traded from the Milwaukee Bucks this week. Really sad. Like, as much as we were all sad when Drew Holiday got traded and Dame came, and we said it made sense, right? Like, there was a reason to do it. The Bucks offense hadn't been great in any postseason, and Dame was going to be able to help transform this organization moving forward. But it was still sad for Drew and his family and everything they'd meant to this community to leave. Well, magnified, right, with Chris Middleton, who's been here significantly longer, who didn't come to this team, as like the next piece to try to win a championship or this get over the hump. He wasn't even the biggest piece in the trade that he was in to come to Milwaukee, right? It was Brandon for Brandon. It was Brandon Jennings.
Yeah.
Yep.
Being traded for Brandon Knight.
I remember where I was when
Brandon
that
Knight.
trade
I
came
did
through.
too.
I
I
was
did
at was it the Kalahari down in Illinois? I said I knew
Well,
where
the
it was.
Kalahari's in Wisconsin Dells.
No, there's
but
one in Illinois across the border. Some in Gurney. Or
there's Six Flags is in Gurney.
The Convo. I don't know. Key Lime Cove. That's what it was.
You're a stranger.
Arguing with my ex.
Arguing with your ex about what?
I said,
Brandon Knight?
Hush. The trade came through.
What were you arguing about?
Who knows? That's why she's ex.
Okay. A lot of arguments with her?
Yeah.
So Chris Middleton was part of this deal.
Arguments with the new girl ever or no?
No, me and baby girl, we on the same
Never
level.
argue?
Mm-mm.
Okay, sorry, Craig. Sorry.
Kyle's ex was not part of the trade that sent Brandon Jennings shipped out of Milwaukee. Kyle should have at the time, but he didn't. If he had known better. But Chris Middleton came to the team. We didn't know anything about Chris Middleton. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, this guy can shoot. Oh, all of a sudden, like, this guy can play a little bit. Maybe he's like a starter in this league. That'd be pretty wild if you get like a legit NBA starter as a throw-in in a trade you didn't even know. Then all of a sudden, Jabari Parker gets drafted after Giannis. It's like, oh, okay. There's two guys on every billboard, right? It's Giannis and it's Jabari, and that's what this team and this franchise is going to be built around. But turned out that wasn't the case. And Chris Middleton, all he did was continue to get better and better and better, not just be a starter in this league, but eventually to be an all-star in this league, to be an Olympian, to be an NBA champion, to be a guy who in the Atlanta Hawks series, when Giannis got hurt,
Incredible.
ended up single-handedly winning game 4 of that series.
20 points in one quarter of that game.
One of the best performances I've ever seen in a pressure game. And then, by the way, backed it up in game 6 at Atlanta, ensuring that the series did not come back home, to Milwaukee for a game 7, winning that series 4-2. Of course, everyone remembers 40-point game, down 2-1 against the Phoenix Suns in the NBA Finals. Whole postseason run started. Remember, Bucks had lost to the Heat in the bubble, and game 1, all of a sudden the Bucks, final moments of that game, Chris hits a jumper over Jimmy to win game 1 of that series. Just so many moments, but equally the way Chris handled himself off the court helped set the tone for who this organization was, for what the Bucks meant in this community, the countless things he did that were not done with cameras on him, having gone through some stuff around the birth of his first child, the things he did at NICU units around the state of and city of Milwaukee specifically. So overall, when you lose a family like that from the community, it's a loss. When you lose someone who's impacted your organization so much, someone who's been a champion, it's just a loss. And I don't know, guys, like when you just think about Chris, like his smoothness on the court and the speed he moved and the way when he shot it and you just knew it was going in, and the chemistry he had with Giannis on some of those alley-oops, and like, it's just hard to not think of Chris, the basketball player, and smile when you think about his game.
Break soon.
He's an all-time great, right? He's a Milwaukee great. He's a Wisconsin legend forever. Obviously, returning the Larry O'Brien to Fiserv or to Milwaukee, right, for the first time in 50 years. He was a huge part of that. We don't win that title without Chris Middleton, as Craig just pointed out in that Atlanta series. He was ginormous. And, when you bring up that trade, right, like it was kind of, you didn't really think much of it. And then Giannis and Chris come up together. They're fighting each other for minutes early on in their career together, and ultimately they become the Batman and Robin that franchise so desperately needed. The unfortunate part is this was the right move for Milwaukee, right? Like, unfortunately, Chris is at a point in his career where, and no fault of his own, but he's injured. You don't know if he's going to be on the floor. And so ultimately you need to get something in terms of return for him. It's the right move to make, but it is still a move that makes Bucks fans everywhere sad because he is, debatably the second greatest Buck of all time behind Giannis.
Yeah, no, it's great that we were fortunate enough to have Chris, and I appreciate everything he did for this franchise because he never switched up on us, right? He was a cornerstone of an organization that was bad when he got here, right? And hit rock bottom when he was here, but he helped rise us up, right? And so we have to be nothing but appreciative for Chris Middleton and everything that he did, and you're absolutely right. He helped bring a finals championship to Wisconsin, to Milwaukee. So we are always grateful for Chris Middleton.
Crazy. I mean, just short of Kareem started as Lou Alcindor, right? As these, so ahead of Big Dog, right? Third leading scorer in franchise history. If you throw in the postseason, second leading scorer in franchise history. How's it work? Like, what do you think the Bucks are going to do with retiring jerseys? Like, because he's number 22 and he absolutely, you would think, should have his jersey retired. Yep. But Michael Redd
was pretty damn good. Yeah.
Break after this.
And then Giannis, obviously, you're going to retire his jersey at some point. But Ray Allen also wore number 34.
Yeah, Ray and Michael Redd is unfortunate. They'll get their names somewhere, but those jerseys belong to Chris and Giannis.
What do you do with those guys?
What do the Brewers do? They do like the walk or the side. What do they call that? The Walk of Fame? Or you know what I'm talking about?
Fame, yeah.
So if the Bucks introduce that at Fiserv,
honor walk, something like that. Yeah.
Michael Redd and Ray Allen can be there, but when it comes to the rafters, that's reserved for champions, and that will be Giannis and Chris Middleton.
Well, speaking of champions, despite Plymouth Argyle's win over Liverpool today, we don't know that they'll be champions, but we know whoever wins the football game tonight will be. We'll talk about the Super Bowl as we roll on. It's Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
This is Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin.
Clear. So we'll come back. We'll have a shorter break, but I got to get my Gruber
WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Experience the timeless charm of the Knickerbocker on the Lake, Milwaukee's premier boutique hotel. With its stunning architecture and modern comforts, every detail tells a story. Whether it's a romantic getaway, a business trip, or simply a night away, you'll find elegance, history, and a warm welcome waiting for you. The Knickerbocker on the Lake, where every moment feels like a chapter from the past, written just for you. Visit KnickerbockerOnTheLake.com to book your stay today. An unforgettable getaway awaits.
Mic is on. You are clear.
One call, that's all. Gruber Law Offices. You're talking about nationally recognized, but you're talking about locally, not just owned, but locally committed in this community. That's why Gruber Law Offices has stayed with their one office in Milwaukee that serves the entire state of Wisconsin, because they are a family-owned business who is so invested in this state. You see it in the charitable events. You see it in the sports teams that you root for. You see it in the community things that you're a part of. Gruber Law Offices seems to always be there. Someone's always wearing that Gruber Law Offices t-shirt because they are committed to this community. And that's what's happened. 30 plus years, tens of thousands of people helped. You only pay if you win. So if you or a loved one is ever injured, remember what it means when you hear one call, that's all. It's Gruber Law Offices.
Here in Wisconsin, one name is synonymous with fantastic frozen pizza, Palermo's. For almost 60 years, Palermo's has focused on feeding Wisconsin families. And though Palermo's has grown a lot since 1964, they're still family-owned. They're still proud to call Milwaukee home. And they're still committed to making the best frozen pizza possible. From their new and improved rising crust pizzas to their guilt-free Primo thin pies, Palermo's has a delicious slice for every appetite. Find Palermo's in your local grocer's freezer food aisle. Palermo's, flavor is our family's business.
What makes the Pell experience so exceptional, something you won't find anywhere else? Come see us at the Neri Spring Home Improvement Show, February 14th through the 16th. There's never been a better time to experience Pella in person and get all your questions answered. Find out why Pella has the best wood warranty in the industry. Learn about our incredible design team with an ability to customize windows to match your unique home, and how our professional installers work fast and year-round. The timing is impeccable. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin is now offering windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. You also have no worries thanks to Pella's 10-year installation warranty. Book your in-home consultation at the show and receive a complimentary DesignWorks consultation and Pella Care inspection. That's February 14th through the 16th at the Neri Spring Home Improvement Show. We'd love to see you there. Get windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month at PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions apply.
Panic strikes as you realize on Wednesday that Thursday is your anniversary. The reservations being secured.
We'll see you at 8.
The gift being purchased. Yeah, you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with early pay up to 2 days early on direct deposits. So even though they call you Last Minute Lisa, we'll make your last minute scrambling a bit easier. You've got this with early pay from Associated Bank. See AssociatedBank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Get ready for the grooviest celebration of the year. Join us at American Place Casino for our Woodstock and Wildflowers 2-year anniversary bash on Saturday, February 15th. We're giving away $50,000 in cash and free play with winners drawn every 15 minutes from 10 a.m. to 1 a.m. Participate in our costume drawing for a chance to win $500 in free play. Come celebrate our 2-year anniversary. Don't miss out on all the fun promotions and live entertainment. Peace, love, and big jackpots await. Visit AmericanPlace.com for more details.
Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537.
I see dead people.
It's Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
You're clear.
What's up with these jabroni? Trying to see Compton. The industry can hate me. For Marlon, they mama. How many options?
Are you familiar with this song, Craig?
Too many options. I'm finna pass on this body. I'm John Stockton.
Mustard!
And hide the Bible if God watching. Sometimes you gotta pop out and show. Certified boogeyman. I'm the one that up to score with him. Walking
Here you go,
down
Craig.
all the time. I know he got
Bop,
on him.
bop.
Pull on him. Extort. Bully the flow on him. Say Drake. I hear you like I'm young. You better not ever go to cell block 1. To any that talk
You like it, Craig?
love, just make sure you hide your little sister from him. They tell me Chubb's the only
Someone
one that
who
and party at the party
is almost as young as me and break it down kind of the way I can. Hubie Brown this week hangs it up as a broadcaster, and he is doing it at Fiserv Forum today as the Milwaukee Bucks host the Philadelphia 76ers. And Hubie Brown is someone that, I mean, you both know, right? Like, it's not like you're like, who's Hubie Brown? Like, he's been part of your whole lives, right? As basketball
100%.
fans?
Yes, 100%.
Kyle, Hubie Brown, like, is he like been a background, like you always remember him and all that?
You always remember his voice.
Now, for me, when I started liking basketball and when I got into basketball, Hubie Brown was the head coach of my favorite team, right? So, like, that's like, you know, I was a Knicks fan and I was 8-9 years old getting into basketball. Hubie Brown was the coach of the Knicks, and Bernard King was the best player. They went to Detroit and beat peak Isaiah Thomas in a best-of-5 series in a closeout game at Joe Louis Arena that they played in, I believe, or maybe, I don't know, it's a Silverdome. They played in some big arena at the time, like because of some scheduling thing. And Hubie Brown was an incredible coach, but the idea that he started his NBA career here in Milwaukee back in 1972, and you mentioned it when we were talking about Chris Middleton, about 50 years in between championships.
Mm-hmm.
You're now talking about 53 years later that Hubie Brown has been associated with the NBA. And by the way, Hubie Brown was a player for the Rochester Colonels.
Sure was.
58.
Oh, stop it, Strofe, like you know. Oh, I remember that in 58, 59. Sure was.
I'm on his Wikipedia page. That's why I said sure was. I'm validating the fact that Craig is correct.
Yeah, which was not an NBA team, but a guy associated with basketball for his whole life, right? Who played, who coached, who educated, and who today, as part of ESPN's broadcast of the Bucks and the Sixers, will be doing it for the last time right here in Milwaukee at the age of 91 is pretty incredible and deserves our respect. And with all the Super Bowl talk today, want to make sure to give some love to Hubie. He and Mike Breen will be on the call. You can get that game also on the radio on WTMJ in Milwaukee. You can get that game on ESPN Madison if you are in the Madison area. And if you are in Milwaukee, immediately coming up after this show, we're going to be taking you to Potawatomi, where Josh DiMaggio, Jen Latta, Ben Brust, anybody else? Is that it?
That's it.
We'll be getting you ready for the Super Bowl. And that's what we're going to do right now. When we continue, we are going to, the four of us. I was counting me. I see me on the screen twice. So I was counting me, Kyle, and
Kyle,
Alex
you didn't
Stroh.
do anything wrong. Don't freak out. It's because when he
in the corner,
you
yeah.
got it. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I was like, what in the heck?
Believe it or not, you did not screw anything up for once.
Yeah, you
Proud of
didn't
you.
screw anything up. So the 3 to 4 of us, depending on if I'm counting myself twice, we'll be talking to Jen, Ben, and Joshy, getting you ready for the Super Bowl as we continue. It is Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
You're listening to Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
For 75 years, the Muscular Dystrophy Association's voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
For 75 years, we've willed the impossible into existence.
For 75 years, the MDA community has pushed the science,
Shifted the narrative, and established the field of neuromuscular medicine.
And until that day when this is all a thing of the past,
You couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
All day, every day. The Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Hey, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Kyle Wallace for Universal Windows Direct. February is here and love is in the air, but if you're not in love with the way your home feels this winter, Universal Windows Direct has the perfect solution with their Love Your Windows sales event. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free, and there's no limit. Need 4 windows, you pay for 2. It's the perfect way to save big while upgrading your home. Schedule your free in-home estimate or visit universalwindowsdirect.com, and like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Experience, knowledge, results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
For your fellow fanatics and your number one fans, for your game day compatriots and your personal cheerleaders, for all the reasons you smile, get covered with dental and vision insurance from Delta Dental of Wisconsin and Delta Vision. Support your overall health so you can be your best for those who matter to you most. Call Eric Pearson. Eric Pearson, Saganiac Planning, 262-783-6161. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service. The Saganiac Planning Marquette Basketball Greatest Scorers. Tony Smith. he had crazy numbers. In 87 as a freshman, 8 points per game, 8. And yet his senior year, it tripled to 24 a game. Smith's average for many years was the highest single-season scoring average in Marquette history. And he scored 44 against Wisconsin. And 2 weeks later, 43 against Butler. Think, 87 in 2 games, when as a freshman, he scored 234 in an entire season.
Guys, let's talk about something important. That's you. Hey, it's Brad Nortman. Taking care of your health and appearance isn't just about looking good. It's about feeling strong, confident, and ready to take on the world. At Quintessa Aesthetic Center, they make it easy. With experts in advanced skincare, body contouring, and anti-aging treatments, Quintessa's here to help you stay sharp and at your best. Trust me, when you look good, you feel even better. So why wait? Visit myquintessa.com and take the first step toward a more confident you.
60 seconds.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at Right Choice Tax Resolution. We have talked with a number of new clients who told us the same story. They had a tax situation and went with one of those national firms with the TV and radio ads. You know the ones. They guarantee they can settle your tax owed for pennies on the dollar. They take a $10,000 fee up front, and then you never hear from them again. We are a local firm and just want to help you resolve your situation so you can get on with your life. Don't let your bank account get wiped out, your paycheck or Social Security get garnished, or a lien put on your house so that you can't sell it or get refinanced. The state can even put a hold on your occupational license. Make the right choice and call 844-222-1192 or visit rightchoicetax.us today. Schedule a free meeting so we can talk and come up with a solution to solve your situation now. It will not go away if you bury your head in the sand. The first meeting is free. Call now, 844-222-1192 or visit rightchoicetax.us.
It's that time.
Yes, it's finally here.
Craig makes his picks of the week.
You can bet the house on it.
Picks of the week on Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin. Presented by Palermo's Pizza, Wisconsin's hometown pizza.
Can't wait to see what happens next.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
You're clear.
And you should try to listen to this one where we combine basically 6 people, 3 different locations, audio, video, YouTube, live stream, radio. What a disaster this will be. All brought to you by Palermo's. You can't watch the big game without pizza. And Palermo's gives you all the options to do it. And some incredible options around Palermo's Pizza. They always make sure that with their different brands, they find some special opportunities for you to figure out how to enjoy them. And
they have BOGO
how about
right now
this?
too.
Right now today at Brownie's Pick and Save Metro Market, Screamin' Sicilian, core, thin and crispy, and tavern style. Buy one, get one free. That's right. For the big game, buy one, get one free while supplies last. February 5th through February 18th at your local Pick and Save and Metro Market stores. Taste what all the screaming's about with buy one, get one free. Screamin' Sicilian for the big game. All right, are we going to go out live to Potawatomi and try to bring in our teammates? It sounds like that noise makes me feel confident.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Joshy, are you with us?
We're all present and accounted for, Craig.
Yeah!
Very excited to be here at the Annex. Everything's sold out, but this is the only place you can bet throughout the entire game in the state of Wisconsin. So come on down to Potawatomi Casino Hotel. And Craig, I'm curious because it was like impossible to follow on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy the other day. What the hell is your bet?
My bet is a very simple one.
Oh.
Wait, Jen's bet or my bet?
Craig's bet.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, my bet is you were looking at Jen while you were asking that question.
Exactly. I was like,
that
why are
was
you
a little
looking at me?
confusing. Yes.
Because when I was driving, everyone was confused.
Well, so Ben, as a basketball player, if he ever had executed that good of a head fake, he would have been a much more effective playmaker and not just a spot shooter. He stared down Jen and was like, "What was your pick?" And I was like, So I have a very simple parlay. It's Jalen Hurts to score a touchdown, Saquon Barkley to score a touchdown, and the Chiefs plus 5.5.
I'm curious how you threw a teaser into a parlay. I've never heard that.
No, I just wanted to slide. So I was thinking, what are the things I think are most likely going to happen in the game? And I was thinking the Chiefs play one-score games. The Chiefs play every game seems like 4 points or less. So if I start with a base of Chiefs plus 5.5, because I want to root for the Eagles, I want to root for Saquon. I love Jalen Hurts. I'm not an Eagles fan per se, but I want to root for the Eagles. But I think the Chiefs always play it close. So let's go Chiefs plus 5.5. And then I think at some point they're going to get a rushing touchdown out of both Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley. And when you combine those three, you can get pretty darn good odds. So
do we still not have the true odds? Because you guys were calculating it.
He was trying to figure out like what it was based on what he would win. I'm guessing the odds are like 3-something.
320?
Ish.
Well, the problem was I went while I was on the air with you guys. I went to my ESPN Bet account, which is where I assumed I'd done it, but I'd actually placed the bet while I was in Florida. So it is plus 325 on this bet. So.
There we go.
Yeah, so
big odds.
Craig, I have a similar one. I have a Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown. I think again the tush push anytime they're inside the 3, that's a good option for them. I have a Saquon Barkley anytime touchdown, and I have Kareem Hunt plus 30 rushing yards, and I think I got a pretty good number on that. Now I forgot all of my bet slips. You guys were with me the other day, right? When I had
yeah, I've seen you stick them just about everywhere.
Yeah.
12 bet slips. I forgot them all at home. What?
Looks like you got to play. Looks like you got to play some more.
You'll just have to play some more.
Wrap us up.
When you can old school have the betting slips, that's the most fun to cash out. Kareem Hunt has scored a touchdown in every postseason game he's ever played in. Interesting note.
4
there,
straight
right?
coming into this one.
Yeah.
Well, and I did plus 30 rushing yards. So he had 64 in the last game, 44 in the previous, 20, 55, 45. So I felt pretty good about 30 in, the biggest game of the year.
All I know is I grabbed the under at 49.5. It came down to 48.5. I got value, folks.
What about Josh?
So
What
happy
do you
for you,
like?
Ben. My favorite bet right now is longest rush Saquon Barkley under 25.5. The Chiefs have only allowed. The Chiefs have only allowed 6 rushes of over 25 yards all season long.
Did they play Saquon?
I am fading everybody rushing against Saquon. Everyone is on Saquon. Go the other way.
All right, fade public Joshy.
Okay.
I like it.
I
I like
would
it.
actually go
Stones.
Longest rush over, and I'd parlay that with Hollywood Brown's over longest catch of like 18.5 or something like that. Those are just fun ones so that at any point one play could win you the bet. Kyle, what do you got today? What do you expect?
I expect both teams have fun.
Come on.
Why are you trying to end the show? We're all in local program.
But we can all fade that, right? Because whoever loses this game
not gonna have a lot of fun.
Not having fun.
Ask your co-host Brad Nortman how much fun he had losing in Super Bowl 50.
Somebody went to the club that night
like
after losing.
That's a producer who's trying to keep us on a clock.
Yeah.
Trophy, what do you got?
I've got Travis Kelce over 6.5 receptions, and don't listen to Benny. It's always heads on the coin toss.
Yeah, Jen faded me too. What is this?
It's heads on the coin toss. 4 of the last 5 years. Going to be 5 of the last 6. I've got
3 of the
heads.
last 4.
That's
this is why you're
pea-brain
not
stuff.
on this show.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the only
Pea-brain.
reason. You're right. Pea-brain. Get the hell out of here,
Wait,
Joshy.
His girlfriend's a Swiftie, and so he's got Travis Kelce over.
Can we put a scroll on the bottom of this screen that says like tails in fact fails? I did not know that.
That's the only reason Ben Bruss likes tails is because there's a silly rhyme that goes along with it. Talk about pea-brain.
You're using previous outcomes.
Yes, previous outcomes on a coin flip.
There's a reason when you play roulette, they tell you what it was.
It works on coin tosses. Heads all the way.
Does not.
I actually like Ben's theory. He plays the same thing every year,
Every
so it's
year.
going to hit eventually.
They tell you what color came up in roulette because they want to influence you into making a bad decision.
The ball has a mind of its own.
I also like clear on the Gatorade color. Water today.
No. people. But I think Chewy always goes with the like that the first pass will be complete. Because he thinks like they always want to settle quarterbacks down. I don't
That's
know
a fair one.
Yeah, and they
before,
script their
but
first
that's one of
15.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
So,
right,
Strofe, you headed on over to join us?
I will be there in about a half an hour, yes.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, I think that means that we are going to remind you to stay healthy, stay together, survive today, thrive tomorrow, don't settle. You have been listening to Sunday Karma, but a big upgrade coming to you from Potawatomi. Did you say sold out, Potawatomi and Ben? Is that what you said?
Sold out Annex, sold out Sportsbook, standing room only. The
Parking
only place
lot
that you can
absolutely jammed.
only place you can bet the entire game. Yeah, you guys were almost late.
Yeah, because you are used to getting parking spots. Today, not
Wait,
so
so
much.
you're saying people can't come in, or can they still keep coming?
No, there's some standing
keep
room
'em coming.
only. There's drink specials at every bar, but yeah, I mean, it's the only place with these kiosks you can literally watch anywhere on any of the screens throughout the whole casino and place bets during the game. You like live betting?
Okay, so keep
Come
coming,
here.
keep coming to Potawatomi and hang with Jen, Ben, and Joshy for the next 3 hours, and you'll even get to see Alex Strofe there. Kyle, you swinging by?
Doubtful.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Just say yes.
Yeah.
Just say yes.
Yeah. Just be like, yeah, I can't wait.
You know, I got this $20 in my pocket, and I like Travis Kelce. What is that, over 59.5? So I like
Free food if you come, Kyle. I know that's the way to your heart.
Come on, Kyle, I'll give you a ride.
Oh, food. Then all right, cool. I'll see you boys
Kyle,
later and
Kyle,
ladies
who
later.
did not grow up in the hood is probably going boating again today, like he always does.
At least you understand now, Craig.
Yeah, see, now it all makes sense to me. It took me a long time to figure it out, but I got it now.
Yeah.
All right.
More
Kyle, send us
Whitefish
out.
Bay than Milwaukee.
Yeah,
Kyle, send
no
us out.
comment. Peace out, everybody. Enjoy the